So, good morning, SHEERSHOO sir.
Good
Today,
morning, sir.
we are happy to announce our recent topper, Mr. SHEERSHOO Dev, All India Rank 1 of UPSC CAPF 2025. He is currently working in Chennai as a technical engineer in Caterpillar company. So, today, SHEERSHOO sir will be sharing his preparation journey and key takeaways from like the do's and don'ts and the insights with respect to interview guidance, everything he will be sharing it today. So you can just follow the path of Mr. Sershu and you can be benefited out of this session. And we welcome you once again, Mr. Sershu. Please
Thank you
go
very
ahead.
much, sir. Thank you very much for hosting me here and giving me this opportunity to share my strategy. So, firstly, I'll give a brief introduction about myself. So, I grew up in West Bengal in Salbani from a government school, Kendriya Vidyalaya. I did my primary schooling. After that, I went to Kota for my engineering journey. There, I prepared for JE for 2 years and then I got into Jadavpur University. From there, I pursued my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and after completing my degree in 2024, I have been working here in Caterpillar. So my strategy was little different since I was a full-time working engineer. I had very limited time to prepare. So in today's session, I'll tell you how like you can use the limited time available in best possible way. I have briefly summarized my strategy into three segments. Like first segment is for paper one, then second segment is for paper two, and third segment is for interview preparation. So one thing before beginning, I would like to mention is that in these recent times, the importance of interview and paper two has increased drastically. There were times earlier when toppers used to score around 170, 180 in paper one, but with the given trend, looks like that is very difficult nowadays. So the paper two marks in the written exam becomes really a game changer, and as well as the interview score. So for paper one, I would like to mention one thing that in 2024 also I gave one attempt. In that attempt, I couldn't prepare very well, and I relied mostly on science, geography, and mathematics at that time. So this time I decided I'll prepare the entire syllabus thoroughly. So in paper one, since my background is mechanical engineering, I mathematics and science wasn't a very big challenge for me. Although there were some outlier subjects like computer and biotechnology, which became which gained some importance in the recent years. So I prepared the basics of science very well from the ninth and 10th NCRT for science. And computer, there are like some basic stuff which we can prepare very easily. That won't take more than 3 or 4 hours. That is available in any given good quality YouTube video. And then coming to my core strategy, I mainly focused on geography, polity, and economics for paper one, apart from maths and science. So in recent years, the history was getting very very tough, and the return of investment on the time was very very low for history. Like the entire syllabus would take I know 100 of hours to complete, and maybe the guarantee that aspirant would be able to complete successfully get questions out of it was very low. So I thought, okay, I'll go for the very high weightage subjects chapters like Vijayanagar Empire, then Bhakti Sufi movement, and Indus Valley civilization, from which I was expecting at least 2, 3, or 4 questions, and that would be all for history. Apart from that, geography, I prepared the 11th NCRT and 12th NCRT plus all the PYQs of the UPSC exams. Like there is CDS, there is NDA, then geoscientist exam is there, and civil services, all the civil services prelims, all the PYQs I prepared thoroughly. So there is one misconception in among candidates that 11th and 12th NCRT is only the syllabus, but along with the NCRT, PYQ is also the syllabus. So we have to thoroughly cover those syllabus as well, the PYQ. And for polity, I refer to this standard Lakshmikant, and then for economics, I again refer to 11th and 12th NCRT plus budget document, and then economic survey. That is a very important part of economics syllabus. And coming to current affairs, I relied on mostly the PIB cutouts, and there was one very good initiative by Achieve CAPF where they had this monthly cutout magazines where they'll just compile all the important news clippings and they'll just upload a video out of it. So it was very difficult for me to follow the news regularly. So what I used to do is I used to watch this 3-4 hour video, and 1 month of current affair would be covered in one shot. But that didn't proved out to be very fruitful, because I thought I'll just cover the 6 month current affairs, because till 2024 it was like that. 80% of the current affairs would come from last 6 months, but 2024 paper was completely out of blue. So that didn't go very well actually. That would be all for the paper one strategy. I kept my resources very limited. Instead of covering more and more syllabus, like instead of covering the entire syllabus, I focused on consolidating what I have studied in my limited time. So whatever
Yes, sir.
chapters I studied, I revised them again and again. I did the PYQs, and whatever mistakes I did, I just highlighted those PYQ questions and took a snap and kept it for my reference.
Can you please elaborate on the list of books that you referred for paper one for the different subjects?
Yes, sure, sir. For geography, I referred 11th and 12th NCRT. There are, I think, 4 NCRTs. One is for physical geography, then is for Indian geography, then one is human geography, and another Indian human geography. I think 4 books are there. Those 4 books I referred. For polity, I referred to Lakshmikant. And for economics, again 11th and 12th NCRT. For science, I referred to 9th NCRT, 10th NCRT, and limited chapters of 11th biotechnology book. And for mathematics, I didn't rely on any subject. I just practiced the PYQ. And for history, themes 1, themes 2, and themes 3 alone.
What are the core subjects you referred for science, sir? Especially you mentioned that you have had a good knowledge on this computer science technology, and recent years there are more questions coming from this computer science, at least on an average of 5 questions. So what would be your recommendation to the candidates to prepare for science, since there are on an average 35 to 40 questions from that particular area alone?
In recent trend, if we analyze the recent trend, it is getting little difficult. So the questions from 11th and 12th NCRT is also coming, but that would be very difficult to cover given the huge amount of syllabus we have in other subjects as well. So my recommendation would be stick to the basics, like 11th, sorry, 9th and 10th NCRT, then limited chapters of biotechnology from there, from where they are asking repeated questions, and maybe go through the NDA PYQs. That can be a little bit helpful, since that is little bit elaborate, and that is having little bit science background also.
Yes. Thank you, sir. You can go on with your preparation strategy for paper 2. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And for paper 2 strategy, I'd like to mention that I had a content rating background. I have been doing this content rating for Defense XP platform for quite a time. So on defense, I had some good knowledge. But presentation skill was a little bit where I needed to work. That's where our writing practice come into place. If we are writing every day, at least one question, that greatly helps. So for paper 2, I took guidance from obviously use her from ADHIKAAR CAPF, and a special mention to AVKS Academy also, because I came to know about you very lately. But yeah, that was very important. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it. So this continuous practice helped me a lot. Like initially I was dumping too much content, but in that exam, if we write too much, we won't be able to finish in time. Finishing the paper in time is the most important thing. Say if there are 4 essay questions and then 2 argument question, if we are writing one essay very well, we are putting our 100% effort, but then we are putting 50-60% effort in the remaining of the question, the overall impact would reduce drastically. So we have to go for a balanced approach in that. Time management and then presentation skill is the most important thing for paper 2. That is for sure. And grammar part, that will come from practice, and all other part is, I think, manageable. The comprehension, then that's all for paper 2 strategies.
Okay. So just one query from the candidate side, sir. So how to cover current affairs for paper 2?
For current affairs, paper 2, there are very good initiatives. Every institute publishes a list of expected topics. I think from ADHIKAAR CAPF also we have a very good initiative where you generally highlight all the important ongoing events from a given month. So if a candidate is seriously preparing that, I think that would be very helpful. And if this paper 2 preparation shouldn't be taken alone, like it should be clubbed with interview preparation also. Like whatever we are preparing for paper 2, that will again help in the interview preparation as well in the long run. So if we go for such kind of integrated approach, that would be very helpful. Apart from that, we can refer to newspaper, like standard newspapers are there, like the Hindu, Hindustan Times, and PIB as well. If somebody is a full-time aspirant, then daily newspaper should be a must.
Just one more question, Mr. Seshu sir. So what is the significance of paper 2, especially given the changing trend of paper 1? So how do you view the significance of paper 2, especially in recent years, in determining the merit list? Because candidates are not taking paper 2 that seriously compared to paper 1 or the interview preparation. So what's your personal suggestion for the candidates with respect to paper 2?
In the recent trend, paper 2 and interview scores are especially game changer. I have seen candidates who are just like barely hitting the cutoff in paper 1, but because of their very good paper 2 score and interview score, they're making it into the top of the merit list. So paper 2 shouldn't be taken lightly at all. Like if we see the 2024 paper and 2025 paper, the cutoff has reduced drastically. It has gone down below 100. So as the difficulty of level has also gone up. In that paper, it is like nowadays it is very difficult to score beyond 120 or 130 in the given trend. So paper 2 becomes very important, where we can show our skill and excellence. Like, but again, there is some subjectivity involved. Like there are a lot of uncertainties. One good answer might fetch 10 11 from one checker, and it might fetch 9 10 from another checker, and it may even fetch 12 13 from another checker. That luck factor is there, but constant practice we can do to just boost our chances. And in paper 2 preparation, I would like to highlight the importance of a quality guidance from a established coaching institute like ADHIKAAR CAPF, because when we start writing, we do not know whether we are writing like what's our quality, whether we are addressing all the points. Here the role of an experienced faculty becomes very, very important.
So thanks a lot, sir. And just one last question for paper 2. Like, would you like to give any suggestions for candidates to prepare on the grammar side, because it has huge weightage of 25 marks and it can be scored easily, but still
Yes.
candidates are struggling in securing more than 15 or 17 marks. So what would be your suggestion for the candidates to score more on the grammar part?
Grammar is like a direct hit portion where we can score very easily, and we can check ourselves also whether we are doing that correct or not. So all the basic rules and basic stuffs can be revised again and again. All the technicalities can be kept in mind, and there is a section of phrasal verbs also. Like I had a comprehensive list of all the phrasal verbs that came in all the last year, previous year papers. So if we can refer them beforehand, that would be very helpful.
Thank you, sir. So I hope this would be a very comprehensive insight from you for paper 2. So now
Yes,
you can share your thoughts about your interview preparation or the importance of interview preparation in this exam journey.
Yes, sir. So interview preparation is the most important aspect of this particular exam, since this I have seen many candidates who have secured, like, who just barely secured the cutoff, but they have done very well in the interview and they have finally got a very good rank. In like, if you see the trend, like 3-4 years ago, the average numbers were around 90 95, somewhere around that, but in recent years we have seen the panelists are giving numbers very generously. So if we can prepare on the predictable lines, like, so there are some patterns which come again and again, like questions from internal security, the DAF, and then hobbies and interest. If we are preparing that very thoroughly, I think the chances of doing well in the interview goes up very well. So for interview, first of all, we need to prepare our DAF very, very well. Like it's our kind of CV when we are going for the interview. For most of the candidates, for 60 to 70% of the candidate, their interview entirely is based upon the DAF. So in the DAF, if we are preparing the like all the sections very thoroughly, we are giving the due respect to each and every section, then 90% of our interview preparation is done over there. And then coming to the all the static part, like we have internal security, external security, then emerging threats, and then current affairs. If we are giving due respect to those aspects also, then that would be very helpful for our interview preparation. But for the interview preparation, there is another very important aspect, that is constant practice. We might accumulate huge knowledge, we might have the best content available, but if we are not able to present it to the panel member, then it is of no use. So we need to constantly maybe we do mirror practice. Suppose we can just frame some question ourselves, and we can just try to answer them and see how we are answering those questions. And we can have one-on-one mock interview with experienced panelists as well. And then we can also record our videos and see how our response is. That helps.
So a question in this regard, Seshu sir, like what would be the significance, or what is the significance of mock interview sessions when it comes to improving your personality or scoring well in the interview? Like, how would you highlight the significance of mock interviews?
The question of mock interview is a little tricky. There are a lot of coachings in the market which are conducting very fancy mock interview, but I don't think those interviews are becoming very helpful these days. All they are focusing is on marketing. They're putting up fancy panels, then they're putting fancy lights, and it is kind of a setup for a show, I believe. But there are very few institute in the market who are actually doing genuine mock interviews, like which are really focusing on enhancing the quality and the overall content of the response of the candidates. There are very few coachings in the market in that aspect. Luckily, sir, your institute is one of those institute only, sir. I by accident I came across you, but I believe if I hadn't come across you, I wouldn't have made it, sir. So in your institute, as you conduct the one-on-one mock interviews, sir, those are very helpful actually. Like at least those sectional mock interviews where you in one particular session where you emphasize on the individual aspects of the DAF, that is very helpful. And overall, sir, the panel mock that you conduct, sir, that is also very helpful. I found your mock interview very similar to the actual environment. I have seen a lot of grilling, then pressure tactics in the mock interviews which are available from the big platforms in the market, but that is not how the actual interview environment is. They'll simply make you feel very comfortable and cozy first, and there won't be any kind of pressure. It will feel like we are having a discussion with some elderly people in a dinner table. It is that kind of atmosphere over there. So simulating that environment is very important, sir, in mock interviews.
Thanks a lot, Seshu. And I hope for interview preparation, for a brief overview, this would be sufficient. Now, would you like to give a brief about the do's and don'ts for the overall preparation of this CAPF for the future aspirants?
Yes, sir. So, sir, my first do is less is more. Like we have to focus on our limited resources. If we run after too many resources, then we can end up in trouble. Then again, another do is just we have to focus parallelly on paper 1, paper 2, as well as our physical fitness. If we focus too much on paper 1 and ignore paper 2, that can be a disaster. Then, sir, another do is we have to refer as many PYQ as possible. Like from PYQ, we have seen repeated repetition in the question paper. Then, sir, practicing test series is very important, especially for paper 2, because finishing the paper 2 in time is a important aspect of the exam. Then, sir, another aspect is having good sleep, 8 hours of sleep. Then doing some regular workout is also very important for this exam, because it helps to keep the balance between mental and physical fitness. That would be also. And sir, one last question of the aspect of this preparation. We need to find the answer of the why I want to join the forces. If that answer to that question is very clear, then the entire journey becomes very easy.
Okay. Thanks for your comprehensive list of do's. Are there any don'ts, like not to do stuff for the candidates?
in the don'ts, there are few points, like we shouldn't get demotivated with the low scores of one particular exam or one particular mock. Like we should take them as a genuine feedback and scope of improvement. Then we shouldn't get overwhelmed by the syllabus. Like the syllabus might seem to be very huge in the first glance, but if we remain consistent, we can cover that up very easily. That would be all, sir, from my side.
Okay. Seshu, and one thing very unique with you is that you are a working professional. You are all
Yes, sir.
India topper as a working professional.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that inspires many more working professionals to pursue their dream of becoming an officer, and that to a Group A officer. So, like, what would be your suggestion for the preparation of working professionals, particularly?
Sir, for working professional, it is like it is little bit difficult to prepare full time since they have very limited time. So they need to find out the aspects of like the regions where the return of investment of time is very high. Like if they invest some time, definitely they are going to get questions out of that region. So those high return of investment target areas they can focus. For to identify these areas, good PYQ analysis is must. They must analyze all the PYQs and see which regions are getting repeated again and again. That would be all, sir.
Some insights on time management for working professionals, Seshu.
Yes, sir. That is a very difficult aspect, sir, because working professional, at least they have to spend 8 or 9 hours on their job, and then again they have to study for themselves. So somewhere or the other, the sleep gets compromised. So if I share my personal routine, like luckily my job is in US timing, so it's generally from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock. So I used to wake up in the morning and get my lunch prepared, and then I used to study for 2-3 hours. Then I used to go to office and get all of my works completed, and after that I used to study 2-3 hours. So that was the time I could manage.
Okay. Very happy and inspiring, Seshu. I hope you continue to inspire so many other future aspirants, including
Yes,
the
sir.
working professionals particularly, because despite being a working professional, securing All India Rank 1 is a very big achievement that you have accomplished this time. So I wish you all the very best, and we on behalf of ADHIKAAR CAPF wish you all the very best to inspire much more candidates and for you to reach even more greater heights. So thanks a lot, Seshu. And depending upon the needs of the candidates, we'll try to plan for separate sessions on paper 1 preparation, paper 2 preparation, and interview preparation.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So thanks a lot, Seshu.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for giving me this platform. Thank you, sir.